Good evening, class. Online class AB is working. Okay. We'll start with Polity and Governance Current Affairs. Topics are Ashwagandha Regulation by FSSAI, Welfare versus Development, Privilege Notice and Parliamentary Privileges in India, Promotion and Regulation of Online Gaming Rules, Skill Development under Vibrant Village Program. Okay. First one is Ashwagandha Regulation by FSSAI. So, what exactly here the topic is means, see, Ashwagandha as a concept has been there since traditional point of time in India. It's a traditional medicine. Now, why it has come into news means Ashwagandha has been used largely in your nutraceuticals, that is something to do with health, supplements, etc. FSSAI has told that, see, you use Ashwagandha, we have no issue, but use only root and root extracts of Ashwagandha. Do not use the leaves or leaf extract of Ashwagandha in your food products or in your nutraceutical supply. Okay, because this is found to have high amount of toxins which is harmful for human beings. Understanding? That is why this has come into picture. So, anything with regarding to food production, consumption, nutraceutical, health supplements are all regulated by your FSSAI, which is governed under Food Safety Standard Regulations 2016 of Schedule 4. Schedule 4 is very important. Put an asterisk and write it down. They will tend to ask you in statement kind of question. FSSAI Schedule 4 is the one that will give the legal framework for the food products. So they have allowed only certain plant parts to be permitted in your health supplements or ashwagandha tablets, ashwagandha pills, all those things are coming. No, this is to make sure that there is quality control and consumer safety. Okay, Schedule 4 becomes very important. Done? No. First and foremost about ashwagandha. What is this means? It is an adaptogen, which means it has known to have benefits of calming the mind, production of your or more, let's say, reduces stress. It also helps and boosts your brain activity, and most importantly, this is showcased and advertised as it manages stress. See, anything with respect to your Ayurvedic medicines, no, you may not have exact scientific reasons to back it up, but it has been used in India from very long period of time. Now, when they say ashwagandha, they are otherwise called as Withenia somnifera. This particular plant as a whole is being used. This plant as a whole is not good. At least that is what FSSAI is telling now. Okay, what are its benefits means it improves immunity, enhances brain function, reduces anxiety and depression, helps regulate blood sugar. In India, if you see today, your mental health issue and diabetes, these are peaking the charts. In order to trying to provide as an alternative to balance both these, people are now trying to move towards your ashwagandha or otherwise more of Ayurvedic medicines, nutraceuticals, herbal beverage and wellness products. In all these things, ashwagandha is being used. Okay, so much so that people have started using ashwagandha concept in even in your beauty creams. So what is this means? It is a herbal adaptogen. Understanding? How can you use ashwagandha according to your FSSAI? You can use the roots of ashwagandha and root extracts of ashwagandha. There is no issues in that. Okay. This is used in health supplements also, not an issue. What is prohibited means any leaf and leaf extract. Why? Because it has higher amount of vithanolide content, which is very lethal for human beings in your high dosages. Done? Okay. First and foremost, I'll tell you one thing. Now we said no higher vithanolide content. This does not mean ashwagandha root doesn't have it. Root also has it, but it is in very less quantity. But extreme high quantity it is there in leaves and any leaf extracts. That is why they are telling roots can be used, leaves cannot be used, because it leads to toxicity and there is no scientific let's say validation that yes, if you use the leaves it is good for you. Understand? So when it comes to your usage of ashwagandha with respect to medicines, herbal medicine, the department that will come into or ministry that will come into is Ministry of Ayush. Ayush stands for Ayurveda, Yoga, Unani, Siddha, Homeopathy. Okay, it is a dedicated ministry under Government of India. So this has issued directions to avoid leaf usage in ashwagandha formulations, including in tea. Many people end up adding ashwagandha leaves, ashwagandha root permitted in tea, ashwagandha leaves not permitted. So Ministry of Ayush also has given that, and they told traditional Ayurvedic medicine should also be focused with modern food safety standards. Understanding? No one here is disclaiming the benefits of ashwagandha. Which part of plant is what they are debating. So Ayush along with FSSAI has created the regulatory framework as to which parts of the plant have to be used. Done? Now, who and all have to listen to this regulations means it is your food business operators. They have to mandatorily follow this. What is that thing? Only approved plant parts must be used. Okay, approved plant part is root and root extract. They have to prescribe the dosage limits. How much percentage of ashwagandha have they used in their product? Let's say someone is making a herbal tea. They have to tell in that herbal tea ashwagandha is of how many percentage. Okay, your tea leaves are of how many percentage. Well, let's say cardamom is of how many percentage. Everything in the percentage dosage have to be mentioned by the product food business operators. And lastly, they have to make sure it has proper labeling. This is to make sure that a person or a customer has an informed choice, or in the words of FSSAI, customer has right to know. Okay, this is called as RTK by your FSSAI. This is very important. Done? We'll move ahead. Okay. Because we're seeing about regulatory body, we'll see what is FSSAI. FSSAI is established under Food Safety and Standards Act of 2006. This is very, very important. It comes under Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. It is an autonomous statutory body whose headquarters is in New Delhi. What does it do? It regulates food safety standards. It sets standards for food products and also ensures public health is the most important priority. Done? Shall we move ahead? We'll see one question on this. With reference to the regulation of ashwagandha by the Food Safety and Standards Authority of India, you're able to see now? Only root and their extracts of ashwagandha are permitted in health supplements. Only roots and their extract, correct. Leaves of ashwagandha are prohibited due to high levels of vithanolides that may pose safety concerns. Ashwagandha is classified as a synthetic pharmaceutical compound under FSSAI regulation. Synthetic pharmaceutical means you are producing it in a lab. This is a natural adaptogen or a herbal adaptogen. Done? So correct option are 1 and 2 only. Next, welfare versus development. Done? See, this image itself will be a depiction as to what we are going to speak here. This side of the image is what we are going to call as welfare. This side is called as development. So what happens is, there are certain things called as, see, in your polity also you would have seen, we are trying to move towards a welfare society. Yes or no? DPSP 38 and 39 articles are all trying to create a welfare society. Welfare society means what? It is a redistributive society, which means Article 39B and Article 39C tells two things. Prevention of concentration of wealth. 39C is your distribution of public resources for your public good. Now, welfare here means that anything that government does, that will be for immediate alleviation of problems of people. What do I mean by that? Right now this becomes very important is because this is completely election season. So anything that comes in current affairs is what your prelims and mains will talk about. One simple example I'll tell you. Now Karnataka government provides something called as free bus, okay, free bus passes for your women. It provides free 200 units of electricity, okay. This is on one side. Post COVID 2021 onwards, Government of India started providing Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana, which means free food grains will be given for your Antyodaya families or your beneficiaries who are being picked from your NFSA, National Food Security Act of 2013. Anything government does in order to make the individual's life better at the moment or in the short term, that is called welfare delivery. But the issue with welfare delivery is, most times it creates a dependence. What dependence? This is where we will be speaking about freebie culture. See, when Government of India told 2021 onwards, there are many people who lost the breadwinners. Okay, for those people, they should not starve and die. So we will provide free food grains in the form of Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana is an excellent scheme. National Food Security Act of 2013 to make sure no one dies out of hunger is an excellent scheme, wherein right now you are saving lives. But when you provide things such as TV, laptops, mixer, grinder, your 200 units of free electricity, bus passes, all these things are good. But what is the detrimental thing to this means, these drain the country's resources. By country's resources, each state will tell we will give this, why? So people will vote for them. people will vote for them looking at this. This will just give them short-term relief, but in the long term, it is not benefiting them at all. And also one more thing is, your state has limited funds. Be it the states or with respect to center, they all have very limited funds. If this limited funds are used for the development of a future, in the form of growth of your country, in the form of building your infrastructure, durable assets, skill training, all these things, then this would create much more gain in the longer run. You giving mixie or grinder, these are wear and tear products. It is not going to come lifelong, which means that much amount of money government is going to spend is going to be useless to people in 1 or 2 years. The same money, if they would have invested it on the growth of people in form of infrastructure, skill development, etc., it would have created much more benefits. See, that doesn't mean welfare is bad. Welfare, which type of welfare? For example, are you providing something for the healthcare of people? Ayushman Bharat insurance scheme, good. Are you trying to provide something for the education of people? Your RTI or your, not RTI, RTE, Right to Education, Article 21A, 6 to 14 years of compulsory education, and also NEP 2020, quality education which you are providing. These all will help them gain a livelihood. Basic shelter over their head, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. These are good. Providing mixie grinder fans are all nothing but your populist welfare measures. That is, you are making people slaves to these kind of material benefits. Instead of developing it or using it on their development, you are wasting that funds. According to your FRBMA Act, Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management, they tell states have to learn to have fiscal discipline. Economic Survey has also told that 2023-24 has also told that states are, by giving these kind of populist measures, they are creating the people as forever dependent on them. Understanding? Because as long as they are dependent on them, these people can keep winning. So your winning is coming at the cost of their development. So this has to be curbed. Okay, that is the debate between welfare and development. So if you see what should happen, should welfare be not there? No, that is wrong. Welfare is needed, but only essential welfare, not your freebie culture. Welfare and development, when they complement each other, then only India will progress. So simple summation, it should not be welfare versus development, it has to be welfare plus development, but right type of welfare. Okay. So welfare means something that provides short-term relief, such as redistribution of resources, Article 39B, 39C and Article 38. All these three speaks about creating a welfare society only. Equity focus, that is, they target the most vulnerable section and they provide support for day-to-day needs in crisis, such as food grains, healthcare, medicines, these kind of things. Whereas if you see development, it is a long-term growth which is about transforming the economy itself, and also it is based on Amartya Sen's capability approach. What is Amartya Sen's capability approach? Means he tells, if you create development, that is this version of development where the society is having good ample enough for his individual himself to develop his life, that creates a freedom. That freedom gives him the capability. That capability transforms the nation. You as a country should not be focusing only on this. You have to largely focus on this and balance it off with welfare activities. But how in India it runs is, it is largely focused on this, little bit is here. Okay. So you have to invest much in development compared to your welfare. So welfare means it is state intervention in order to provide social security. In what social security you will provide? For your vulnerable sections such as your right to food, right to sleep, right to shelter, right to health, right to life, these kind of attributes. Okay, it is only short to medium term and it is consumption oriented approach. This is the important keyword. Social welfare activities, anything you are giving, it is not for longer term. It only helps you for shorter term. That is why consumption oriented. You are using it off immediately. It is not going to develop in the future with you. Few examples are your PDS, Ration Shops, Food Security Act of 2013, DBT, direct benefit transfer whenever government gives. This is just wastage of money. What are you giving with DBT? Unless and until you give them an employment to earn that livelihood, that is much more, let's say, long stating. Otherwise, they will always be dependent on you for month to month. Next is your old age pensions and your Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana. Okay? No one here is telling don't give welfare schemes. Give welfare schemes which are not just populist oriented or something that will not just get you elected. Next, development and growth means it is about capacity building. Capacity building means you make sure that the growth will be such that the people themselves will be able to attain whatever you have to provide. So that time you don't have to provide them free food and everything. What is the objectives? You will give much more employment generation activities, productivity growth will happen. This will lead them to have self-reliance and prosperity, or at the end of the day, their capability will increase, their freedom will increase. That is what Amartya Sen tells. He also tells to an extent where if you just give everything, you make people dependent on you and they have no motivation to do better in life. This is also one of the aspects. And it is long term in nature. If your welfare is consumption oriented, development is investment oriented. Okay, investment is always better than consumption. Examples are building of your infrastructure such as roads, rails, airports. Skill India, that is you will make sure that people are having necessary skill set that market needs. IITs and AIMS are created as premier educational institutions, and industrial corridors which will help the manufacturing. So these kind of things create longer boost. But what happens is, as soon as the government comes to power, they would have promised many things in election manifesto. I'll give you this free, I'll give you that free. All the money they have, they will use off in welfare only. So they will have very limited amount to do these. Alongside this, corruption. So nothing here generally happens. So what are the key difference between welfare and development? Your welfare means it is redistribution of resources. Development means growth and capacity building. With respect to time frame, welfare is short to medium term, development is long term. Always long term is preferred. Okay, but in order to address the day-to-day vulnerabilities, welfare is preferred. The nature, this is consumption oriented, this is investment oriented. This is targeting at immediate relief, this is at efficiency and empowerment and long-term growth. Largely, it is trying to provide a safety net or state support for people. That is structural transformation where people don't need that net from you, they themselves will develop it. Okay. So what is the issue between your welfare and development? If you see, crowding out. This concept was used in your FRBMA Act in 2003, Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management, where it said if states have 100 rupees, by the time they take power, they would have already told in election manifesto, I'll give you scooty, I'll give you your laptops, tablets, smartphones, etc. And not to one or two, it is for an entire state population. So in this 100 rupees, already 70 to 80 rupees is spent off on doing that itself. That limited chunk, whatever is there, that is not enough for any one investment also. In that they have to do it for multiple investments. So what they do, 1% for everything, and that will be useless. This is called crowding out of fund. All the funds get crowded in welfare only. So the funds are crowded in the welfare section itself. And rising freebie culture is creating a huge amount of debt burden. See, according to your FRBMA also, for a particular state, the rule is you can borrow 3 to 4% of your gross state domestic product or your state GDP. 3 to 4% you can borrow. But usually what they do is they borrow to finance this itself again, not for your development. Next, dependency culture. If the state itself keeps doing this, people will only be dependent. They will not feel the incentive to do much more for themselves. Okay, this is called as poverty trap. Your dependency culture in a way creates poverty trap, where the welfare is disincentivizing you to be much more productive. Intergenerational inequity. This is very important concept, also very interesting concept. It tells right now you may feel like the money that we are spending on welfare is for people's welfare, but actually where that burden will come means we have not created any infrastructure, any investment, any asset. Who will bear the brunt of it means the next generation which is to come. They will be the one who will be affected by this. So intergenerational equity will be affected. That is, even they have the right to have access to resources, but all the resources you have spent it like this that by the time they come, their competition will be extremely high compared to the rest of the world. Next, complementary welfare and development. That is, welfare in certain things are very much needed, like what? Education, health and your shelter. For those such as your midday meal scheme, your welfare and development benefits. For example, if you see Manrega, okay, your MG Narega scheme, or recently they have kept name changes, no? So not an issue, you can use either of the names. In this, the whole point of Manrega is you create a durable asset as well as provide employment to people. But how is it happening in reality means you are only doing the cash transfer for the people, durable assets are not being created. Understanding? We are trying to make sure that health, education pay you will spend means that will improve your long-term productivity. This should not just come at the cost of few welfare schemes. Cash transfer only increases the consumption and demand. If one government promises 6,000, another government promises 10,000. So it should not be about only consumption market. Next is social stability. High Gini coefficient. Okay. Basically it tells that when your FDI inflow and productivity growth is there, see, let's take it this way. If a country pay, you have good amount of infrastructure, roads, railways, connectivity, marketing, manufacturing, laborers, skilled laborers, then lot of FDI will come into your country. If lot of FDI come into country, naturally you are creating a scenario where people will get employment. Then they themselves will be able to look after their lifestyle, and you don't have to contribute for that. You only have to contribute for the future development. In that, if those of them who are not able to do that, only for them you will do welfare. So select target welfare schemes, not blanket welfare schemes. Everyone from this will get. Concept should not be there. And also, the safety net encourages innovation and enterprises, which means your Nordic countries, especially your top 10 countries who are having high HDI index, human development index, they have high social security and also high innovation index. When I told welfare should be complemented with development, which means, let's say you are a working individual, suddenly you have lost the employment. In Nordic countries, for as long as you are unemployed, they will give you a fund. Okay, in that meanwhile, you should not worry about just going to something. You will find up new innovative ways. Let's say being into entrepreneurship or trying new skilling method using this money. So you will not be facing survival mode every day. Understanding that is one of the reasons why your Nordic countries are having higher HDI index. So how are we supposed to have sustainable progress? It's not welfare versus development, it is welfare plus development. Through targeted welfare, welfare will be given only to certain sections. Fiscal discipline, states should know that the money that you are getting should be for both, not crowding out only on your welfare activities. Productive welfare has to be seen, that is investing in your health, education, shelter. Last is convergence of all these schemes have to be there for optimal utilization of resources. Okay. We'll see one question from this. With reference to welfare and development, consider the following statements. Welfare policies are primarily aimed at redistributive justice and immediate relief. Development focuses on long-term capacity building and structural transformation. Welfare and development are mutually exclusive and cannot complement each other. The whole point we are telling is they have to complement each other. So correct options are 1 and 2 only. Lastly, they tend to ask questions like this. Consider the following pairs, which of the given above are correctly matched. So I'll tell you this particular thing, tell me if it is welfare or development oriented. PDS system, is it welfare oriented or development oriented? Welfare, so this is correct. Skill India mission, is it welfare oriented or development oriented? Development. Industrial corridors, is it welfare oriented or development oriented? Direct benefit transfer, is it welfare oriented or development oriented? What is direct benefit transfers? No. Is it welfare or development? Welfare. So correct options are 1 and 2 only. Only first two pairs are correctly matched. Next, privilege notice and parliamentary privileges. Done? So what happened was, an MP has filed for a privilege notice against Prime Minister of India. For what? They say that he has spoken after whatever he told after the 131st constitutional bill failed. 131st constitutional amendment bill was about bringing delimitation, and it told in the bill immediately, if this delimitation is done, from 2029 itself, your women will get 33% reservation in Lok Sabha and state legislative assemblies. When this failed, he told things such as, I'm sorry that I failed the women of this country, that this and all those things. So one particular MP, okay, has raised a privilege notice against Prime Minister of our country, which will make us to go and discuss about parliamentary privileges. Now when I tell privilege notice, think of it this way. I am one MP. If I feel parliamentary privileges are two types: collective privileges, individual privileges. Okay, collective privileges means it is for the entire house. Individual privilege means it is for each MP. Now let's say today in an open public podium or in a YouTube or somewhere, I will keep bashing or speaking bad about parliament or house, that is tarnishing the image of parliament. Means any MP can raise a privilege issue against another MP or even a non-MP, because here their collective privilege is getting spoiled, that is we are tarnishing the image of the house. Yes or no? So this particular MP, what he will do means, let's say in this case it's against another MP. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is also an MP only. Now what he will do is, he will go to the speaker. He will give one letter. See, I have a letter here. That is called as privilege notice. I am thinking of bringing privilege motion against this guy. Understanding? Now the speaker may accept it or reject it. Okay? When we tell privilege notice, it is only in this stage only. Now what the speaker or chairman will do is, they will either accept it or reject it. Once they accept it, okay, then they will refer this matter to privilege committee. Committees pe again, there are two types of committee: standing committee, ad hoc committee. Standing committee is permanent committee, ad hoc committee is temporary committee. Privilege committee is one such of standing committee. So this committee will look into the matter. Okay, what is the issue at hand? When they give all these things, they will see whether anyone are supporting them. Let's say 20 odd MPs should support. Yes, we are also thinking the same thing. Then whatever punishment they are to be given, that the house only will decide. Understanding? Now these rules and all are according to your rule book written in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. But it is not written or codified anywhere. Why is it not written or codified anywhere? If you see, if anything is created as, I am not telling codified in the sense, they initially in 2003, 2011, 2015 thought, how about we write all the parliamentary rules and procedures in one big book? Then they said, no, let us voluntarily not do that. Because if we write something and if we have to strictly adhere to something, then the possibility is judiciary will tell judicial review is applicable on that also. If judicial review is applicable on that, then it will be like our own independence and autonomy we will go and give off to your judiciary. Also, strict separation of power between parliament and judiciary will get violated here. So in order to maintain that, let us manage what the house decides at that particular point of time. If in case any MP drags us to the court, let's say speaker or chairman would have given the decision. Chairman and speaker can tell to the court itself, in this matter, I will not appear in court. If you want, I will give all the papers of discussion to my Ministry of Law. My Ministry of Law will give it to you. Why they will not appear in this case is because, again, separation of powers. Any issue happening in my house, I only have to deal with. I shouldn't go to neighbor's house and tell my neighbor to deal with that issue. Understanding? So that is what your parliamentary privilege and the procedure is about. So parliamentary privileges, what are those? They are special rights and immunities granted to parliament, committees and members. Now when I tell parliamentary privileges means, it is there to parliament means parliament comprises of Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha and President, right? But parliamentary privileges are applicable to Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, not to President of India. President has privileges in another article. Your constitutional privileges are there for him. He will not be arrested for civil cases. So, President does not have parliamentary privileges. You have heard about Attorney General. He has parliamentary privileges. Even though President is an important and integral part of Parliament, he does not have parliamentary privileges. Okay. So why are parliamentary privileges needed? To make sure parliament functions independently and effectively. It protects its members from external pressure and interference. Okay. And one of the most important thing is parliamentary privileges are for independence, free debate and discussion. Understanding? No. I told you rights are divided into two types: collective privileges, individual privileges. Collective privileges means right to regulate their own proceedings, right to punish members and outsiders for contempt. I told you MP, non-MP. A right to exclude strangers from proceedings. You would have heard about secret sittings. Only the MPs should be there in the building. Right to publish debates and proceedings of the House. Individual privileges means each MP has freedom of speech within the parliament, freedom from arrest in civil cases during your parliamentary session, 40 days before, 40 days after. Exemption from jury duty while they are being in session, they should not be called. And they have right to refuse to give evidence during the session is in picture. Understanding? So, where is the source for all these parliamentary privileges? First, from constitution perspective, we have Article 105, where Parliament itself has its own rule making power. Article 194 for state legislature. Article 122 and 212, where court are barred from inquiring into the proceedings of Parliament. Why? Separation of powers. Legally, based on enacted laws such as Code of Civil Procedure 1908 tells that no MP or MLA should be arrested 40 days before or after the session, okay, for civil cases. So this provides statutory protection for members. Uncodified, this is where large amount of rules are. Okay, I told you, no, they are not codifying it, because if they codify, judicial review will be applicable. That is why they are not codified. Something cannot be codified, cannot be asked in judicial review. So there is no one comprehensive single law. Parliament retains flexibility through conventions and practices. Why? To make sure that judicial review should not be brought in, because that will affect your separation of powers principle. Breach of privilege. When do we say a breach of privilege happens? When either the rights of the house or its members are violated or dignity of the house is lowered. That time we say breach of privileges happened. When someone gives the information that misleads the house or withholds the relevant facts, defame other members or obstruct a member from practicing their free speech, then there will be also breach by strangers. Okay. That is any particular non-MP. That is, I told you, I can even open on YouTube and start speaking something about the house or about MP. I may know about that, I may not know about that. I can just be blabbing and reducing the dignity of the house. So premature publication of proceedings, even before what is knowing, you shouldn't just keep publishing and making sure the dignity of the house is lowered. Lastly, misbehavior in precincts of the house and bribery of members. Any of these will amount to breach of privilege. What is the procedure for raising a privilege motion? If you see, first a notice is submitted. This is the stage we are in. Okay, I told you against Prime Minister Pet submitted. It's only here. Still Speaker or Chairman has not accepted it. After this, okay, who will they submit to? Speaker or Chairman. They will decide whether they will accept this or not. If they accept or reject, no one can raise question as to why. Okay, let's assume they will tell, yes, I will accept your motion. That time the members have to seek the leave of the house, which means usually privilege motion is raised after your question hour. But if it is any urgent matter, they'll raise it before also telling, see, I know we have planned this, but this is one important matter, we have to take this. So instead of doing what we planned, let us take up this issue. Then house support. At least 25 members should support this. Then the motion will be taken up to refer it to privilege committee. Then the committee will refer it to privilege committee, or it will directly discuss it in the house itself. Either of this will happen. Which of this, it will be again decided by the house only. So what time? Usually privilege questions, motion questions will be taken after question hour. In some urgent cases, they will take it even before that also. Whenever they feel like we should take it, based on the urgency, they will take it up. The Committee on Privileges. Committee on Privileges is a standing committee, which is permanent committee. Lok Sabha pe it has 15 members nominated by the Speaker. Rajya Sabha pe it has 10 members whose members are nominated by chairman. They act like a quasi-judicial body. Okay. Now, what are the functions of this committee? They will investigate whether a privilege breach has happened. If it has happened, they will suggest what should be done, and also they will give a fair hearing for even the person who has committed the breach also, as to why did you do, what did you do. Understanding? So these three will be done by a privilege committee. So certain judicial cases which were involved in this particular issues were Keshav Singh case in 1964. Privileges are subject to fundamental rights, which means the same thing, 64 and 59 ka precedence will be taken. Sharma case of 59 pe that article 19(1) of it does not automatically override privileges. You have right to speech doesn't mean you will speak anything and everything you want. There should be a sensibility to what you speak. Also, article 21 still remains applicable. Right to life is always applicable. Okay, and this is one important thing. Balance between house powers and individual rights are extremely important. House ka dignity also should be protected. Your freedom of speech also should be protected. Okay. So there is a convention. Convention means it is not written somewhere, but this is how it will be run. Why? Because they don't want to write it in one place where judiciary will come in and do judicial review. What is that means? In case of privilege issues, the chairman or speaker do not have to appear in courts. Okay? They are maintaining strict independence from judiciary. Very important, write this down. Done? So, can privilege motion be raised against foreign nationals? This case came up in Swaraj Paul case of 1984. They told, see, parliamentary jurisdiction is there even on Indian national who breached, okay, the house ka dignity, but within Indian soil. Okay, so who breached the privileges of Indian soil, whether he is MP, non-MP, Indian, non-Indian, it will still be applicable. Okay. So here territorial jurisdiction within India you have did this, then we will charge you with the same breach of privilege, because parliament ka territory is full of India. So these are the cases that we have discussed. Sharma case, Keshav Singh case, Swaraj Paul case, all of which make sure that there is a balance between house privileges and individual rights. Okay, we'll see one question from this. With reference to privilege notice in the Indian Parliament, consider the following statements. It can be moved against both members of Parliament and non-members. It requires prior approval of President of India before being taken up in the House. Why will President of India come in? It is entirely the jurisdiction of the presiding officer of the House, Speaker or Chairman. It may be referred to the Committee of Privileges for investigation. Yes. So correct options are 1 and 3 only. Promotion and regulation of online gaming rules 2026. None? See, in simpler sense, regulation of online gaming rules. You will play games which is skill based, which means you have to know about playing that game. That is fine in India. There are some luck based games, roulette, you spin the wheel, money, and all this. Any games which involve money, that money being credited to your account and all those are banned and illegal in India. Okay. So why are we seeing this topic in news? Ministry of Information and Technology has officially notified PROG rules, that is your online gaming rules 2026, wherein it becomes a very important landmark judgment where they are trying to regulate online gaming industry in India. Online gaming industry in India alone is $8.6 billion industry. Okay, it is a sunrise industry, booming industry it is. So who has given the rules? Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. This will come into effect from 1st May 2026. The act that is there for your online gaming is Promotion and Regulation of Online Gaming Act 2025. Done? So what does your new rule states? It is trying to protect users, especially children, which means you have to mention your age, you have to do the verification before you start using it, and this is also preventing, look at this keyword here is addiction. It prevents fraud and addiction and also online harassments. There will be certain interactive games, multiple players will be able to talk, it will become many cases for your online harassment cases. Okay. It promotes responsible gaming. They are not trying to reduce the gaming culture, they are trying to create a more responsible gaming culture, and this will ensure industry growth as well as clarity. Clear? Clarity for whom? For both game creators as well as users. With respect to money game determination, see they have set up something called as Online Gaming Authority of India, which will be under MeitY, headquartered in New Delhi. Okay, what will your Online Gaming Authority of India do means, it will maintain a list of banned games. For example, your PUBG and all is banned in India. So they will maintain how many such banned games are there. They will issue code of practice, and if any users will raise complaints on particular games, apps, they will register those complaints and provide grievance redressal. Okay, and they will also, first thing is, determine the game is which type of game. Is it money game? Anything that involves money from people or something like betting, gambling, those things in these games are not permitted. It is illegal in India. Stakes are involved, rewards are offered, or monetization model. These three. Now let's say there are certain games where they will tell, if you play this game, it's like a cricket game, you will get some reward points. In that reward points, you can either go to the next level or just use it for purchasing some other in-app purchases. Those things and all are permitted. Any form of gambling comes into this. It is not permitted in Indian soil. So what happens is, legal loophole people find out is casinos which will be on seas in Goa, because technically if you cross 12 nautical miles, it does not come under the territory of India. So that way they try to do. Okay. So registration of games is required for esports, and it is notified for social games. Esports means again you have to know the game to play the game. So validity is up to 10 years once you get the registration for these games. Online money games cannot be registered as esports. Understanding? Money games is illegal. They are also keeping user safety measures. 18 plus years you should be for certain games. There is also some inbuilt time limits for each game. Okay, not every game, certain games. Parental controls are needed. Counseling support is there. and fair play monitoring, so that industry pay, it is a sunrise industry I told, no, it is just beginning to boom. Everyone should have a fair leveling chance to have their games also put up. How are they providing grievance redressal and penalties those who are not abiding by the rules? Grievance redressal is they are providing a service provider where they will try to create everything in a digital medium only. Understanding the office itself, the online gaming authority itself should operate mainly like a digital office. And at the end of the day, if your grievance has not been redressed, the appeal goes to Ministry of Information and Technology itself, Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. So how are they making? Completely they are making this office digital. Grievance will be resolved within 90 days. The punishments for yours will be based on the severity of the crime. Understanding? So, what is your Promotion and Regulation of Online Gaming Act speaking about? It is the first law that provides a legal backbone for your online gaming. In that they are trying to speak about esports, online social games and online money games. Online social games are purely entertainment based. For example, your Ludo, okay, those kind of things. Esports is a skill based competitive gaming at professional level, like your chess. You can't simply keep putting something and then think that this is going to be there. This is legal in India. Esports, online social gaming can be regulated to certain extent, but your online money games are completely banned in India. Okay, ban on your money games is, the act prohibits offering any online money games, advertising money games, and it has also told banks to not accept payment coming from these kind of applications. So if someone is keeping on doing that, through your IT Act of 2000, they will block the platform. They will make sure this act is applicable throughout India. So about online gaming, because I told you it's a sunrise industry, 568 million gamers are there. It is projected to reach 8.6 billion US dollars by 2028, and India is one of the largest gaming country, and it is much more booming and growing. We'll see one question. With reference to promotion and regulation of online gaming rules 2026, consider the following statements. Online Gaming Authority of India is an attached office under MeitY. Online Gaming Authority of India is empowered to maintain a public list of banned games, banned online money games. Online Game Authority of India is a constitutional body with powers equivalent to Election Commission of India. It is the most ridiculous concept it will be. But there people for some reason will get confused. Skill development under Vibrant Villages program. Done? See, in simpler sense, what is Vibrant Villages program means? All the border villages will be there. India has border sharing with another country. Wherever states are there, those border villages are usually being affected by your terrorism, narcotics, okay, and also they are being used into radicalization. What these people are thinking means, that is government of India is thinking, let us convert these border villages into eyes and ears of our border security forces. If anything suspicious is happening, because border area people will be able to visualize and see this very clearly, and they have to not be exposed to these kind of things such as narcotics, drugs, your trafficking of human beings, all these things, but rather we give them good amount of skills, so they will be employed, and also they will be the one who will act as eyes and ears for our security forces. That is what this is all about. So why is it in news? Ministry of Skill Development at Entrepreneurship conducted a capacity workshop under Vibrant Village program. What is it? Skill development in border areas. So how are you going to do the skill development? Demand driven skill based in local needs. Let's say if a particular area, okay, your Meghalaya, Manipur, these kind of areas pay, ecotourism is popular, means you will teach the people, let's say your people from other places of country will come. They will create a section of people to explain about certain landscapes, or certain section of people who will prepare the local cuisine. Something that place needs, skill you should provide. Not somewhere you will be like remote forest area, you will go teach them plumbing. What will they do with that? So skill you provide should match with the area they are. This will focus on region specific livelihood and integrate with local economy. Next, what are the key features of this? It promotes peer learning and innovation from one to one. If money is increasing, they all also will want to be learning more. This ensures employment linked training and focuses on sustainable livelihood generation and aligns with local resources and market. So when you do something that is useful for them, they in turn can be converted into assets rather than liabilities. So what is the objective of this? Income opportunities should be increased, reduce the migration from border villages, strengthen the border economy. So what is Vibrant Villages program? It was launched in 2023 by Ministry of Home Affairs. Important this is. It covers 662 border villages in India. Done? So what is the vision of your Vibrant Village program? Create the villages into self-resilient, well-connected and first villages. First village means first point of contact as to what is happening with respect to the border areas. Okay. Vikshit Gavon for Vikshit Bharat is the motto for Vibrant Village program. Developed villages for developed India, that means. So what are the objectives of Vibrant Village program? Prevent out-migration, promote livelihood opportunity, strengthen border security, curb illegal activity smuggling and ensure inclusive development. What is the importance of this? The locals will act as eyes and ears of border forces. They will also prevent population decline in border areas because they are always migrating for work. Third thing, economic integration, that is based on your local needs, your economy can be generated and livelihood also can be given. Now they have started the second phase of Vibrant Village program that will be approved in April 2025, which is a 100% centrally funded central sector scheme under Ministry of Home Affairs. Which states it is covering means Arunachal Pradesh, Sikkim, Uttarakhand, Rajasthan, Gujarat, Punjab, Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, UP, Bihar and all your northeastern states, because this is where all our borders are focused. Okay. We'll see one question from this. With reference to Vibrant Villages program, consider the following statements. It is implemented by Ministry of Home Affairs. It aims to transform border villages into first villages. It focuses only on infrastructure development without addressing livelihood concerns. No, any government scheme you can understand, it will not just focus on only one thing, and especially not only infrastructure development. So correct options are 1 and 2 only. Okay. With this, today's topics are done. Any doubts? Online class, any doubt? We'll end the session.